and welcome to the Torah Outreach Program, Erev Shabbos Burst of Inspiration. Today's Burst of Inspiration is sponsored by Mrs. Hanu Goldis as a schus for her children. This week we have the famous story. Moshe is in the desert being a shepherd for his father-in-law's sheep. What's he doing in the desert? What do shepherds do while they're alone, nobody around? They think. And he had plenty of time to contemplate. What was Moshe contemplating? He had escaped from Egypt. He knew what was happening to the Jewish people. And he was wondering. They're being beaten and beaten and beaten and beaten. How can they survive? How can these people survive if it doesn't stop? He had questions. He had questions. A lot of people have questions. But when somebody tries to give them the answers, they don't want to hear it. They'd rather remain with their questions and their lack of emunah, of basic faith in Hashem. Moshe had questions, but he wanted to know. He wanted to know the answers. How do we know? Because he saw something that he felt was an answer to his questions. He saw a bush. This bush was attached to Mount Sinai, Har Sinai. And it was burning and burning and burning. But it wasn't oxidizing. It wasn't turning to coal, it wasn't turning to ash, it was fresh, the bush itself looked like it was unharmed, but there was fire. He wasn't just curious, he wanted to see how this works. He was thinking, this is an answer to my question. How can something or someone burn and burn and burn and not be harmed? The Torah says he was sar liros. He turned to see. The minute he turned to see, he received his first prophecy. Why did he receive it then? For the reason I said before. Many people have questions, but not that many actually search for answers. They'd rather stay with their doubts, and they'd rather stay with their weakness in their belief and remain with their questions instead of actually searching and asking for the answers. Once he was sar liros, he turned to see, he turned to get an answer to his question. Hashem himself gave him his answer. What was the answer? The same answer that every real estate agent gives every home buyer. Location, location, location. Moshe, you want to know how the Jewish people can suffer and never be destroyed? No matter what's going to happen, not only in Egypt, but in history. It's burning. The bush is burning. They will suffer. Things happen. But they'll never disappear. There was somebody else who had the same question. I've mentioned it many times before. Mark Twain. Mark Twain speaks about how all these ancient peoples have come and gone. The Jewish people saw them all, fought them all, were enslaved by many of them. And we're still here. He mentions the Egyptian, the Roman, the Philistines, the Babylonians, the Greeks. Where are they today? Rome is rubble. There's these ancient buildings that are still there. But does anybody care? Does anybody think Rome is going to come back? No one could care less. Babylonia today is Iraq. Are there still ancient Greeks? No. Countries there, they call themselves Greeks, but everybody knows they're not the ancient Greeks from mythology. Nothing left. And he ends with, what is the secret to their immortality? The smallest nation in the world almost. And yet we make the biggest name for ourselves in education, in medicine, in science. What is the secret to our immortality? Answers. Reb Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, known as the Netziv. The secret is in the bush. Location, location, location. Where is that bush located? What is that bush connected to? Mount Sinai. Where Moshe was told he's going to bring the people back here and they're going to receive the Torah. The Torah is connected to God. God is immortal. If we connect ourselves to the Torah, we, like this bush, will become immortal because we're connected to Mount Sinai. The Zohar says, Yisrael v'araisa v'kudsha b'richu chadhu. The Jewish people, the Torah, and God are all one. God is immortal, and he's connected to the Torah. The Torah is immortal. If we connect ourselves to Torah, we are immortal. Shabbos.